Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Dr. Harley coming at you. Today's discussion, we're going to discuss about picking the correct camshaft for you and how you ride your motorcycle. There are a lot of good camshafts out there from a lot of good companies that picking your camshaft can be quite overwhelming. This is where you have to be honest with yourself. First off, how do you ride your motorcycle? Are you in the low to mid-range all the time? Or are you in the mid-range to top end all the time? I can tell you my personal riding is that I am constantly in the low to mid-range riding. Okay, what does that mean? Low to mid-range is right around up to about 4,000 RPM. So you want to keep your RPMs limited, or not limited I should say. Look at where you're riding your bike. I ride roughly cruising on the highway about 3,000 RPM, which is about 80 miles an hour. I shift around 4,500 RPMs. So what I've needed, or best cam for me would have been a torque cam. Not a horsepower cam, a torque cam. And with that means I want the cam to come on early. And I want it to flatten out right around 4,300 RPM. Where a horsepower cam will come on about 3,000 RPM to about redline. Is that something you want? Is that something how you ride your bike constantly? I constantly ride, and like I said, the 3,000 to 4,000 RPM range. Have I shifted at a higher RPM? Yes, but I'm not cruising at that speed. I want a cam that's going to work for me. If I'm cruising down the highway and I'm 2 up and I whack that throttle, I want it to move. So I chose the Zippers Redshift 468 cam for my Road Glide, which has a 114 in it, and my Lowrider S, it's also a 114. So I put the same camshaft in that bike, and sorry, I put that camshaft in both bikes, and I can tell you, I am delighted with that cam, and I couldn't be happier. Also, you're looking at is how deep do you want to go? Some camshafts will require you to change valve springs. Do you want to change your valve springs? Do you want to get that labor intensive? When you change your valve springs, might as well, change your valve seals and do a valve job. You could go right down that rabbit hole and open up that can of worms, or not. That's up to you. You have to be honest with yourself on what you want to do. Now, I'm going to grab my dyno sheets just so you could see what the different difference in the cams were, difference in the bikes. They're both a 114 cubic inch motor. The only thing different between the two, besides the model, is on the Lowrider S, I put in the S&S ported and polished intake manifold. Just so you know, let's get this out there. This video is no way sponsored by anybody. No way, no how. So let me get those sheets. And grab my eyeglasses because I need them to read. And we'll start with the, let's see, my Street Glide Special. The max power on the Street Glide Special on a dyno was at 97.11 horsepower at 4,000 RPM. The max torque was 125.42 at 3,200 RPM. Here's the dyno sheet. Now on my Lowrider S, remember the only difference was the intake manifold. I consider this a complete stage 2. The max power was 106.7 at 5,000 RPM. The max torque on this was 125.45 at 3.6 thousand RPM. That's right, 3,600. So, with that being said, you know, comparing everything to everything, the horsepower is a little different, all right? You're talking about 9 horses difference with the intake manifold. That makes sense. The torque is the same. So, it's up to you what you want to do. When you pick your cam, you could get the for the Milwaukee 8s. They got the Woods 22 XE cam, which is a good cam. It's an amazing cam. You'll get a lot of great dyno numbers out of it. You know, it's a good cam. I put it in a bike. And the bike behind me here, which I'm halfway going through doing the fat tire front conversion kit. That'll be in another video. That'll be out on Sunday. And that, where was I going? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I put the Woods 222 cams in this. It's a good cam. They're great cams. This is a twin cam. The Woods 22 XEs for the Milwaukee 8. So, can I recommend a cam for you? Absolutely. But first things I'm going to need from you is, 1, where do you ride your motorcycle? What RPM range? Where do you want the power to come in? 2, how do you ride your motorcycle? 1 up or 2 up? 3, are you looking for dyno numbers? Or are you looking for seat of the pants performance, where you could get up there and do what you got to do and ride your motorcycle and have fun? So with all these things being said and done, do your homework, do your research, look at the duration, look at the lift, okay? The lift is how long is that valve going to stay open. The duration is how long is that valve open. Okay? Motors are nothing but an air pump. The more air you get in and the more air you get out, the more power you're going to make. So, pick your cam. Always talk to a mechanic. Go to send me an email. Comment down below if you want to ask me what cam you think you should get and how much you think it would cost in parts and material. I could give you a ballpark. I don't know what shops in your area charge for labor. You know, at the Harley dealerships, I'm sure they're around $100, $125 an hour. And they're going to charge you a book rate. Local shops, support your local shops. With all that being said, if you like this video, give me a like. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please comment down below. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. 60% of my viewers per the YouTube data are not subscribers. I'd like to know how to get those 60% of my viewers as subscribers. These videos are not sponsored. These videos are not paid for by anybody. This is for us. So again, thanks for coming. Live the best life you can and ride often.